Welcome to In the Cool of the Day. Thank you for joining us for today's segment, Get a Life. I'm your host, Rosie Rogers, joined by my co-hosts, Donna Risen and Annette Twyman. Together we are Rosie Rogers and the Life Squad, ready to coach you into living your best and healthiest life, mind, body, heart, and soul. Today we'll take time to tell you all about the show, the format, what you can expect, and of course, who we are. So ladies, are you ready to start talking?
Yes.
So the platform Get a Life is something that God gave me a few years ago. And I was thinking about and meditating on the scripture, John 10:10, where Jesus was saying that the thief came to rob, to steal, to kill, and destroy. But Jesus said, but I have come that you would have life and have it more abundantly. Now, the Amplified version of that scripture says that we are to have life and to enjoy this life in abundance to the full until it overflows. So my visual of that, the thief coming to steal, kill, and destroy, and Jesus coming to give us life, and that more abundantly is, kind of you're at the house and you're just, chilling and, relaxing. And then someone's at your door trying to break in. Mm-hmm. So you go to the door to check it out and it's, you notice through the peephole that there's a thief at the door trying to break in. Mm-hmm. So of course you wouldn't open the door. You don't even have to call for help in this case because Jesus is already there. So for me, it's just a matter of turning, looking over your shoulder and saying, hey, there's a thief at my door. And so then he comes and he answers the door and the thief is there and the thief is like, I came to steal and to destroy. And Jesus is like, too late, I'm already here. Yeah. And he's already given us that abundant life. So that's how I saw and Get a Life. And so I realized that, God had did his part and given us Jesus to bring us this life. The rest was up to us. Mm-hmm. We have to get a life. Mm-hmm. So I can't sit around waiting for somebody to do something for me, waiting for somebody to make something happen, but I literally have to take some steps and get in a life. Mm-hmm. So that's where all of the Get a Life came from. So now if we can say it all together, it's up to us to do what?
Get a life.
So that's what this show is about. And I know that's not always easy. I know there are circumstances. I know there are things that happen. Trust me, I know. But the thing is that we want to be here as a Life Squad to help coach you into that good life, into that abundant life, into, that life where you are enjoying it. Now, this enjoyment is not the party and the, the go get 'em and the woohoo kind of thing, something you might regret the next day. It's not that enjoyment. But enjoying your life and getting a life and that abundant life is about life on purpose. Mm-hmm. It's about embracing yourself. It's about loving yourself. One of the themes that we have is loving someone like me. Where we're, talking about learning to love yourself, who you are, embracing your purpose and the reason why you're here. That's what brings in that lifetime enjoyment. Because a lot of times when we're outside of that, we're not enjoying ourselves and not enjoying our life. Mm-hmm. So we want to share our knowledge, our experiences, our education, our revelations, help you set some goals. Yes. We just want to be there for you as a Life Squad. Yes. Did I leave anything out?
Yes. I think you covered it.
Oh, I covered it too.
I think you did a great job.
Anything to add?
Yes.
We're gonna get your whole life together.
Yes,
your whole life, your
life.
entire life,
Yes.
your entire life. So, like I said, I am a comedian, but I'm also an actor, and it's not going to be a boring show. So I just got to, I told the ladies when we do this, we got to bring who we are to this, to the platform so that you can see that we're real people, but we do know a little something. We have experienced a little something. So there will be times in the show where we'll have guest experts, we'll have guest artists, we'll have guest speakers, and we'll just have some guests. Guess. So it won't always just be us talking, but we're going to take the time to do some research and bring in some expertise so that the things we're talking to you about, you can, rely on, and then we'll tell you how to get more information surrounding that. So
absolutely.
We just want it to be the best show that you can have so you can have the best life that you can have, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So
Very exciting.
Very exciting. Anything else? Did I leave out anything?
No, I think you covered it all.
Covered it
We're
all.
gonna have a good time.
Okay, I'm trying not to talk too much because it is a talk show and I can do some talking, but we hope that you would tune in with us as we do these segments with you in mind, okay? All right, ladies, so now that's a little bit about the show. So let's talk a little bit about who we are. In this next segment, we're going to talk about who we are. So now that you know a little bit more about what the show is going to be about, what you can expect, and some of the things that we'll be talking about, let me tell you a little bit more about myself, and then my co-hosts will tell you about themselves, so you'll kind of know who we are. I mentioned earlier that I'm a comedian. Well, I'm also an actor. I'm a producer, director, writer, published author, speaker, and some more stuff. I call myself the motivator because I love to just encourage people and edify people to get up and, pursue their dreams and all that. So I have lived life in the spotlight, in the limelight, in the flashlight, just, but I've also lived in the darkness. So for almost 50 years now, I have entertained and edified people. I probably started when I was like a wee little baby, because I don't want you to think that I'm that much older than 50 now. But I have lived in those dark places too. And a few years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, my world was so dark that I couldn't see my next step. And even if I had seen the next step, I didn't have the energy or the passion, or just didn't feel like even taking any more steps. And at that time, God spoke to me and he asked me this question. He said, name 10 reasons why you should give up. Oh, I had a list for him. Yes, I did. So I said, 1, I have been married and divorced, not once, but twice. I said I have been raped, not once, but twice, and suffered numerous times of sexual assault and abuse. I said my father died when I was almost 7. My mother died when I was almost 37. My little girl, my daughter, died just a few days after she turned 7 months old. I said my first marriage had lots of domestic violence and abuse, verbal abuse, and infidelity. My second marriage had a lot of mental abuse, social abuse, economic abuse. And just such a struggle that at one point I moved 13 times in 12 years while married. And I said, finally, during this time that God asked me this, it was a dark time. I was going through the divorce. I had no job, no source of income, nothing coming in. And thankfully, I was living in a room in the basement of a friend's house and driving another friend's extra car. Now, although I was grateful for those things, it was just a very tough time for me. I was struggling. And for the first time in my adult life, I felt like I was alone. No mommy, no daddy, none of those things. But also my 3 sons were already adults and moved out and pursuing college and other careers. No spouse. It was just me. So that was a dark time for me. And so then God says, it seemed like my life was being defined by all of these losses. So he says to me, now name 1 reason why you should not give up. So 10 reasons I should give up, and then 1 reason why you should not give up. And the 1 reason that instantly came to my mind was purpose. Although my circumstances were terrible, although I didn't feel like pursuing anything, I knew I still had a purpose because I was still alive. And I knew that it wasn't just any purpose, but it was a good purpose. And one thing I found out about purpose is when you don't feel like going, when you don't feel like pursuing and doing, purpose will come along, take you by the hand and say, get up, let's go. We are not going to stay here. So with that, learning and just talking to God about my purpose and about, the reasons why I should not and could not give up, it was defining moments for me. So you'll hear more about my story in the episodes to come. But right now, let's find out who these amazing women are sitting with me. So I'm going to ask them a question. Annette.
Yes.
how do you know me? How did we meet? What was that?
How did we meet? We actually met at an audition for her play, Make Room for Love. And so I stayed after, and she had auditions, and I had really battled with whether or not I was going to follow through. This was my passion. This is something I've always wanted to do. And the opportunity came, but I really had to get over myself in order to keep pushing and going after my dream. And so I finally got the nerve and went ahead, and I really just came to the end of myself. And I was like, what else do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And I was like, you know what? I don't know her. I don't know these people. I have no reason to be nervous. So I went and auditioned. I think I did a great job. I think I did.
She did all right.
Oh, really? I did all right. Well, I did make the callbacks, and I made it and been a part of your production company and the theater troupe for well over a decade, 10, 12, 13. It's been a long time. So now, and that to me was also just a testament that if you take one step, if you just fight your way through your emotions and everything, then you just never know what God has on the other side. So been with you ever since and done a whole lot of things I never imagined I would have the opportunity to do, and I am very grateful.
And I'm very grateful to have you with me. Okay, Dawn, same question for you.
Okay, how did we meet? So we met actually at church. We were planning something big at church, a conference or something. And you began to tell me about your production company, that you were looking for someone in marketing and a couple of other things. And that God told you about me, like to observe me. So I felt like she's been watching me. And so I liked everything that she shared with me. And I said, this sounds like a good idea, but I want to make sure it's a God idea. And I remember saying to you that I want to be able to not just start strong, but I want to finish strong.
Yes.
So I said, well, let me pray about it. And she agreed. And then that was Friday night. Sunday morning, I see her in church, and she's walking by all peppy on her tiptoes like she knows something. So she says, do you have your answer? And I said, yes. And she's like, okay, just talk to you later. She just kept walking. So later on, when we connected and we talked, she was like, yeah, well, Daddy already told me that he told you yes. And he did. He told me yes. And where I thought my schedule was tight and couldn't fit another thing, he put in your purpose and your passion in me as well. And we've been together ever since, and it's been 6 years.
Wow. Look at that. Look at that. I love how God connects people for a purpose. And even when we don't know initially what all that purpose is, he just has a way of bringing people together to accomplish something. Well, listen, okay, ladies, we're going to talk more, but right now, I think we're going to take a short station break, but we will be right back after these special announcements. When we come back, Dawn will share some information about how you can find healthy remedies right in your kitchen cabinet. So don't touch that remote, put it down, don't change the channel. We'll be back in a moment. So welcome back to In the Cool of the Day and today's segment, Get a Life, with Rosie Rogers and the Life Squad. Now, as promised, Dawn does have some healthy remedies that can be found right in your cabinet. But first, we're just going to talk a little bit about our roles on the Life Squad, because we each have our area of expertise or an area where we feel like our life experiences and our knowledge kind of coincides with that area. And our whole goal is to be able to speak to you as a whole person. Every element of our lives, we each have a role in that. And we base that on Luke 10:27, where it says, so he answered, this is Jesus talking, you shall love the Lord your God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, with all of your strength, and with all of your mind, and your neighbor as yourself. So we as a Life Squad want to be able to touch on all four of those areas that are named in this scripture. Your mind, your body, your soul, and your heart. Because once we learn to love from every area of our lives, we can embrace life, we can enjoy life, we can get a life. You know, once we learn to, you know, love even ourselves from all those areas, and then the scripture is telling us to love God from all four of those areas, and then to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. Now, I thought it was significant that God, that is broken down into four areas. It doesn't just say love God.
Right.
But it literally takes the time to talk about your mind, your body, your soul, and your heart. So my role on the Life Squad, drum roll please. So my role on the Life Squad is your mind. And so those are the things that I'll be talking about the most. And in that, it's about your thinking. It's about changing your thinking. I did a series, started a series a few years ago, and it's called Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. Because once we get a hold of thinking changing, then our life, we'll realize it follows our thoughts and our thinking. And in Romans 12:2, it says, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by what? The renewing of your mind. So once we renew our minds, our life begins to go in the direction of our thoughts. It's just an awesome connection of lining all that up together. So that's my role on the Life Squad. And that's what's your role?
My role on the Life Squad is your heart. Let me go a little deeper about that.
Yes, you can.
Okay, I'm glad you asked. Your heart, it really is, how do you feel about yourself? How do you love yourself? The relationship that you have with yourself. One of the longest relationships that you're going to ever have is with yourself. So how you feel, it really affects how you move in this world. It affects the type of relationships you get in. It affects the way that you not only treat yourself, but how you allow others to treat you as well.
Absolutely.
And so I'm just really into self-love and really learning about yourself, appreciating yourself, and seeing how the opportunities come and being able to identify what barriers that you have for even going out and believing and feeling that you're even worthy of it. So that has really been my passion, because God has taken me on my own personal journey, which I've come a long way, and I'm still on that journey. But it's amazing, it's exciting, and I look forward to be able to encourage people and help them on their own journey.
Oh, I love you.
I love it.
Time for a hug.
I love you. Okay, Dawn, what about your role?
I am excited. My role here on the Life Squad is dealing with the body, which the scripture translates as strength. So we will be talking about the body, how the body works, this awesome machinery that we have, and how we can learn to take better care of it, things that we can do outside and inside, meaning internally and externally, some useful tips and things like that on how we can take better care of our body, because that's part of self-love and what Annette is talking about, and that's part of getting a life. To live this life, we kind of need a body to live it, so we got to take care of this temple that we have.
And Dawn, what qualifies you to talk about the body? I know that you're a massage therapist, but what qualifies you to talk about this?
Very good with my hands. I'm a certified holistic health consultant. So one of the things that I do is teach people how to live healthy naturally in all different aspects and how to do that. And so that's something that I love to do, that I've done and coached many people in getting their life as far as getting their body together.
Great. So I've had a couple massages from Dawn, and it's life-changing.
Absolutely.
So I know changing your mind is life-changing, but getting a massage with Dawn Horizon is life-changing too. But okay, so ladies, you know, we understand that those four areas are so key to our prosperity and enjoying the good life. So we're not leaving out the soul. We're not leaving that part. So my role, I do have the dual role of mind and soul. And in the soul, just want to encourage you. I told you earlier, I'm the motivator. But you know, using scripture and other, you know, information from, you know, some people that that is inspirational to share that information with you. And like I said earlier, I know there's a struggle sometimes just to get up and get going.
Yes.
So, I mean, I'm not the only one up here that's had some struggles, but just, you know, so right now, what would you say to encourage somebody?
What would I say to encourage someone? That whatever it is that you're going through, that this too shall pass. That's one of my favorite references in Scripture, because no matter what storm a person is facing, no matter how they're thinking, what they're going through, what it is that they may even be afraid of, that it's not going to last. The storm doesn't last always. It will pass. And so one of the things I believe that we can all three give to them on this show is some of those strategies on how to get through those storms, different ways to think, because the storm doesn't always change, but our perspective on the storm changes. And we can get through it so much better by having a better, positive perspective.
Yeah,
Absolutely. That's good.
That's good.
And heart.
I love the heart. You know, what I would say is that, I mean, you're perfect just the way that you are. And I know that that may sound kind of crazy, it may sound kind of off, but what I mean is that you're worthy of love no matter what stage in life that you are, no matter what you're going through, that you are perfect and you are worthy of love. And so I would encourage you just to figure out what you like. And walk around with a smile on your face. You know, really start to get to know you, enjoy who you are. Once you enjoy who you are, other people around you will enjoy who you are as well.
That is so good. Such good information. We'll be right back. As we mentioned before our first break, that Don was going to come back and give us some healthy remedies that we can find right in our own kitchen cabinets. So Don.
I'm excited about this because you may not believe all the benefits of this word that I'm going to say, but I am sure if you were to go to your kitchen right now or during the commercial, you would find it in there, and it is cinnamon. Cinnamon is one of the most popular and most used spices, and that's just about in every culture. But cinnamon is very high in antioxidants. It's very high in nutrients. You can use cinnamon to help reduce cellulite. So if you're trying to lose weight, that's something that you can do. I would tell you how to rub it on, or you can put it in your food. You can cook with it. There's some great recipes, even in like your chicken, your rice, your stews, your tea, your coffee. Apple, slice of apple, sprinkle the cinnamon on it with every bite, like with every slice of apple. Get that cinnamon in. You can also take cinnamon capsules to get like more of it, like in a concentrated form. But it's delicious, so it can spice up your drink.
Okay. Wait. So you said I can take some cinnamon and rub it on my cellulite?
Right, I mean.
Yeah, like I would say like put it, but you want to get it in. I was put it in some olive oil and add that to your body oil.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, the more cinnamon you get in is the better that can work. And it helps to control sugar. So if people are having trouble with sugar in their body, cinnamon is something that can help to regulate that. And one last great tip for you. If you're on your way to a meeting, school, a test, or whatever, and you need a pick-me-up, you get that little brain fog in the middle of the day, smell some cinnamon.
Really?
It boosts your brain function and gives you a pick-me-up just from smelling it. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, Don. So just anything else about your, role in the body and just things that.
Yes. What I would like to encourage people to do here is eat to live, not live to eat. And we all have certain appetites and cravings and things like that. And we'll be able to go into some of those things and why we have some of those cravings. But helping people to learn eating and using food as medicine, using food as therapy, and not as a vice where it's going to have a negative effect on our body. So eat to live instead of live to eat.
Wow. That's great, and it's something different about knowing what to eat and how to eat. Because I, just knowing with my own life, there are some things I eat, and then I'm trying to figure out why my mood has changed or why, I'm something's different is happening, and I'm trying to learn to listen to my body. So is that a good thing, learning to listen to your body?
That is vital, very important, because if you're feeling sad or mad or whatever, we usually reach for something. So I can give you a healthy alternative, so you don't have to reach for the chips chips or the ice cream, but there's healthy alternatives that you can still get that sweetness, but it's something that's not going to add weight to your body.
Good.
But no ice cream, huh?
Sorry.
Okay. So we're going to do our closing in just a little bit, so we'll be right back. So ladies, I have so enjoyed having this conversation with you today, and just, introducing this magnificent show that we're going to be a part of, Rosie Rogers and the Life Squad. But I don't know if y'all knew, but I'm gonna kind of put them on the spot sometimes too. So I have a trivia question that I want to ask them. So first, I'm gonna give them some information. Okay. The percentage of American men who say they would marry the same woman if they had it to do all over again is 80% of American men. Pretty large number, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the women. The percentage of American women who say they marry the same man if they had to do it all over again is what?
10%.
10%, you say 10? You think it's that low? What do you think?
I think about 40%.
40%.
Yeah.
And you're both wrong. But it is higher. It is higher. It's about 50% of women. And I use that question to say that, life changes, life happens. Men see things from one perspective, women see things from another perspective. But it's all about, you, mind, body, soul, and heart. It's all about that. So just in closing, Dawn, any?
Okay. In closing, I'd like to say that our body is a wonderful mechanism, like a machinery, and it was made to heal itself. If we give the body the things that it needs, it can heal itself. Like a car, it needs transmission fluid, and it needs oil, and it needs, air conditioning fluid, and different things that it needs to work optimally. So does our body. We need nutrients, we need minerals, we need essential fatty acids. There's things that we need. We need rest, we need exercise. And you talked about enjoyment. We need that too. We need that balance in order for our bodies to function properly. If you do that, your body will be built to last.
Wow, wow. Annette, any last words?
I will continue to repeat that the most important relationship that you'll ever have is with yourself, and you're worth the investment. So you really have to work on loving yourself, and everything you think is out there that will give you like purpose and meaning really can be found on the inside.
Wow.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good. Well, ladies, our time is up.
Oh.
I know. We hope that you have enjoyed today's segment with Rosie and the Life Squad, and hope that you are already planning to tune in next week as we continue to give you tips and useful information to help you live your best and healthiest life, mind,
Body,
Heart,
and soul.
Again, I'm Rosie.
I'm Annette.
And I'm Dawn.
And it has been our absolute pleasure to serve you today. Thank you for watching in the cool of the day in today's segment, Get a Life with Rosie Rogers and the Life Squad. Until next time, remember, it's all up to you to
Get a life.